these are all the things that I have from my experience learned um, are a direct means to uncovering the true self that you are, and then aligning your life with. And so, of course, as I'm sure you all know, through meditation, through different practices, through different contemplative techniques, there is access into that insight, into that true nature that you are. But as I'm sure you've also realized, it's not enough. It's not enough to just have that glimpse, to have that realization. It's sort of the entry point, but there is still this seeming experience of being in a body, being this person, being in this world. Unless you're going to go and move into a cave in Tibet, up a mountainside, in a monastery somewhere, you're going to be in the world, and you're going to be facing your families, your communities, your coworkers, and all of that is real, so to speak. It's a real experience, and you have desires, and you have goals, and you have things that you want to create and experience, and I would assert that you're all here for a greater purpose than just that, than just getting by and getting what you want out of life. I would assert
Mhm.
that if you're here, if you've been watching my videos, if you're taking the initiative to be on this call, if you're signing up for the inner circle, then there's something within you that is sort of ignited, and it's coming also out of a recognition that there's more to the purpose of your life than simply just getting money and building something exciting, and which is all great, of course. Like, you're here, be rich, build something amazing, inspire people, like create art, like be epic, like truly be epic. And but the distinction is that epicness is already what you are. So that's not something that you need to strive for. That's not something that you need to do. That's not something that you need to not doesn't need to be a struggle. That comes naturally as an expression of your true self. And that's where it becomes tricky. And I think that's the intention that I wish to fulfill, and that's the space that I wish to create, to cultivate, is the bridging of the worlds of, let's say, the enlightenment of spiritual circles and the empowerment of our kind of hustle culture, and bridge it into something true and something next level for humanity. Because I believe that we're not simply just here to either sit in utter bliss of self-realization until our end of days, nor are we here to compromise our presence and our authentic being just for the sake of success and money and fame. But there's something in between which is natural. There's something in between which is authentic, and it's effortless when you prioritize alignment. So that is a lot of what I talk about, and that's a lot of what I aspire to embody. And that's what I would imagine is sort of drawing you all here in some way or another. And I believe you're aware of that to some extent, but actually, like an iceberg, I believe you're actually only aware of the tip of that iceberg. So that's also my intention, is to help you reveal to yourself the bulk of the iceberg of that realization, um, so that everything that you think you want can soften and actually fall away, and everything that you truly desire can come to the surface as an effect of your natural state. And so, as I've shared in the videos, in the masterclass, and in a lot of my videos on YouTube, it's really all about alignment. And that's a kind of a tricky thing, because we're so kind of programmed to think that doing, striving, struggling is the way that we get anything done or that anything happens. But actually, when you are earnest and honest and sincere with your presence, with your consciousness, everything is a lot simpler than that. These are all kind of ways that we're overcompensating, distracting ourselves from that which is already here. Yeah, I mean, I think they're all just different terms for the same thing, really. We all remember being a child, right? I mean, maybe you don't really remember, but when you were a child, like all of the gifts that you have, were they were so obvious. Like you weren't conscious of them because they were just they were so automatic. You didn't need to think about what you were going to do. You didn't have to do anything that you didn't want to do. Um, like everything was so natural, and you also didn't resist anything. And so like that's one example of the Tao, I think, of that flow state of your true self. And we sort of overcomplicate it a lot, I think, with the mind. And we project kind of problems and things that we need to fix or things that we need to solve. We overcomplicate a lot of things. And so that's really the heart of it. I mean, when I'm talking about the true self, and I'm talking about your true nature, um, it's it's really the kind of willingness to go to see clearly through all of the illusions that we're buying into, like even your own thoughts. Like, even your beliefs, like even all the ways that we like call something something, you know, like uh your name, you know, or whatever, like any label, any definition for anything. Like when you were at that age of being a child, like those things were not there. And then where were the problems? Where were the confusions? Where were we getting hung up? So and I don't think it's for no reason that I think it was Jesus that said, you know, to enter the kingdom of to enter the kingdom of heaven, you become like a child again. And there's so many different aspects to that quote. But for the simple sake of um, just be present and quit complicating it. And then of course there's all these questions, right? Like, well, how am I going to pay the bills? And you know, how am I going to make it, you know, make ends meet, and like all this. That's the beauty of this experience, is that we all have our own programming, right? Our mind is a product of our environment, our upbringing, you know, our choices, our experiences. So um that discernment is yours, and it's yours to cultivate. And so, you know, that middle way is going to be the way of you being honest with yourself. Like, what is the most loving thing that I can do for myself? What if I'm aware of myself, then what is being called for right now? It's like, and then all the while really investigating the beliefs that are giving rise to the answers that you're buying into with all that, right? Because of course, if you've set the intention or you've set the goal to do something, um, well, first of all, where is that goal coming from? And second of all, you know, that if it's true for you, then nice. And then secondly, uh, indeed, like maybe the most loving thing or the most honorable thing is to, you know, put aside your feelings in that moment and just to do the thing you said you were going to do. So, but the thing is that there's no like black and white. There's no like, you know, this is the way it is. It's that discernment. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like the true self that you are, when you come in contact with the truth of who you are, these answers are available to you. So, of course, there are skills we can develop, and there's discipline that we can cultivate, and there are things that we can improve about ourselves, so to speak. Um, but if where is that coming from? Is that coming from an outside authority, from an outside source, or is that coming from your internal authority? Is that coming from your own inspiration, right? So if we're looking to the world to see who we should be, what we should be doing, and if it's going the right way or not, that's where it becomes tricky. But if you're seeking the truth of who you are, and you're aligned with that inspiration, then you will know what to do. You'll know what to do, and you'll know what you don't need to do, and you'll know the way to do it.